Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Because the conversation starts now. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains, your favorite place. This is the spot, the location, where the conversations are pointy and the guests are sharp and the responses are never dull. And today we have Deborah Crowley, and she is the owner of Exclusive Cleaning Services. Oh my God, let me tell you, if you have never had somebody come in and do the work for you, baby, you better save your pennies because it is luxurious. When you get up from your desk or you come in from after a long day and your house is smelling good and it's clean, it's just amazing. But also, she's a survivor and a thriver of domestic violence. And she is a Lady of Justice ambassador. So we're going to ask her about that. And she got a couple other fantastic opportunities that she is exploring and businesses. She is just really at the top of her game. So I'm so excited to have her here on the show with us today. How you doing, Deborah?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me. Truly wonderful.
Absolutely. We've been waiting for this for a long time.
Yes, we have.
But it's worth the wait. So tell my brains how you show up in the world.
Well, I am a grandmother of two whom I adore. They live in different states. I wish I could see them more than I see them now, but they're in different states. So, of course, that's travel time. I am, as you mentioned, a domestic violence conqueror. I don't say victim, I say conqueror because I have moved past it and I have succeeded. Also, was working in corporate America for several years and decided one day to just walk around, I was in a Renaissance Center, I'll say, for GM. Walked around, looked at everyone, and decided that it was time for me to go.
Girl, I did that too. Don't that feel good? Don't that
feel good? Yes, it does. And went back to my desk and started packing things. And I was gone within that 2 weeks. And that's when I decided to open up my company, Exclusive Cleaning Services. Also, with that, I lived in New Jersey, now live in Michigan, and I left New Jersey with 3 suitcases and two of my sons. And it's been amazing ever since, deciding to change my life and make a difference in my life.
Well, let's dial back. Liberating yourself from a job that is not pleasing to your soul. Did you hear what I said, brains? Liberating yourself from a job that is not pleasing to your soul. I'm not talking about liberating yourself from being a W-2 employee because there's a lot of value in that. You got your benefits, you got your sick time, you got your desk, you got your paycheck, you got the offset of all of the responsibilities going to the upper echelon of the organization. But it needs to be pleasing to your soul. You need to be an independent contributor to the organization. And if you don't feel that anymore, then it's time to go. Don't get caught up in the trickery of that word entrepreneur, okay? Deborah and I were both talking about that in the green room, and that is harder than being a W-2 employee. You've got to figure out what the business is. You got to have a business plan. You got to pitch the people. You got to find the customers. You got to pay the bills. You got to pay the taxes. You don't have no guaranteed sick time. You don't have no guaranteed vacation time, and then you got to build the business and start that cycle all over again. So don't get tricked up with that word. But the most important thing is it has to be pleasing to your soul. I had one guest on my show. She was selling cupcakes. She coached with me for 5 hours. The woman's business went up 300% because it was pleasing to her soul and she knew what direction she wanted to take. So why did you start with a cleaning service?
Oh, wow. Working in corporate for so many years, I saw that women were just so busy. And I would hear a lot of the executive, let alone all the employees, cleaning. First thing they would say, well, I got to go home and clean my home. So I said it was important for me to start a cleaning company so they don't have to worry about that. So like you said, so they can come home and have a clean environment. And that's more time spending with the family, more time getting them doing me time for themselves instead of running around cleaning, because by the time you finish cleaning, you're tired and ready to go to bed. So there's no time for the husband or the children anymore. So that's why I decided to do that. Not only that, too, a lot of people just can't clean. So
Right, right. Because I know it took me all day to clean my house. I had to sit down, take a couple breaks.
and not only that, you don't have to clean it all in one day. You get a company like me, come in and do a deep cleaning, and then it's easier for you to maintain after that. And then maybe have us come in monthly, bi-weekly. It doesn't have to be weekly, even though I do have customers that want someone to come in and clean at all times, but it doesn't have to be that. Just have a company come in one time and just do that deep cleaning, the things that you would normally do, the spider webs, cleaning the top of the door, the
Girl,
windows.
I paid them to do my windows. I like to look out a clean window, but I tell you, I don't like to do the window, and I don't like to do the stove.
Oh, the stove, that's the hardest thing
So
too.
yeah.
We have some remedies for that. I'll give you a little tip. Get you a pumice stick,
Oh,
Pumice. It's a pumice stick, and it's so easy to get that dirt and grind out. You don't really have to scrub that hard. And it looks like, you know how you scrub your feet? What do you call those things? But you
those
usually
are
scrub
a
your
pumice
side.
stone.
Yeah, a pumice stone. Yeah, but it's a pumice stick for just for stoves.
Where do
And
you get it from?
Home Depot, your Home Depot, I think they have it in your local grocery stores as well, but it's called Pumice stick, Pumice. And
Okay.
another a note too, when you're cleaning your stove, you have to spray it and let it sit. A lot of times people spray and then they just go wipe it out.
Right.
No, that's not going to work. Let the chemicals sit in there to get that done.
And then wipe it while the chemical is on it. Because what I was doing was I let the chemical sit and then I wipe it with a wet sponge. I mean, put a little water that dilutes the chemical.
Absolutely, it does. It does. And to get to that, that's what happens with COVID, trying to disinfect your home. A lot of times we were spraying and then wiping. You're not leaving the chemicals there long enough to remove the germs or try to remove the germs. Even with bleach, people think that bleach is a cleaner.
Ooh.
Bleach
Well,
is a disinfectant.
bleach was tearing up my respiratory. Okay.
Yep.
It was tearing up my respiratory. And another thing, you clean either up, down, or back to front, right?
Top to bottom, left to right. Because you want to clean, we as cleaners, we want to clean as we go out. So you clean the top, then you clean the bottom, then you start to the back because you want to vacuum and mop yourself out.
All right now.
You have to go back and do the same thing over and over again. Just a quick question too. We can talk about cleaning our day, but I got a question for you. What would you clean first? Your toilet or your mirror in the bathroom?
Probably the mirror.
Nope. Because the sink, and I mean, not the toilet, the sink, because the sink, you're wiping it, and it'll splash water right on your mirror. So you would have to go back
Right.
and clean it again.
Right.
So you clean your sink first and then the mirror.
Well, let's talk about some of the cleaning products. A lot of them are very toxic. Yeah. A lot of them are toxic. I mean, because we want the strongest thing to clean the germs, but you tearing up your lungs at the same time. I love things like I use a steamer on my floor. And what I started putting in there was vinegar and water.
I don't use vinegar and water. Some of my cleaners do like to utilize vinegar, but I don't know because of the smell. There's something called ZEP products. It's a sanitizer that's truly, truly amazing. Like, I love it. I've been in business for 15 years and we've been using it ever since because it's a green product. And a lot of your customers, well, a lot of my customers want green products, and you're talking about being careful because of the chemicals. You have to use green products, and ZEP is amazing. It's a little pricey, but it works.
And it's probably heavily concentrated too.
Yes, it is.
That makes sense. So they ought to give you a plug. ZEP, did you hear that? Home Depot, did you hear that? And Pumice, did you hear that? Okay, all of that goes to exclusive cleaning services. Okay, so now you hire a person that wants to maybe do it as a part-time job. It's a lot of flexibility. They may have 3 or 4 regular clients that they go to 3 or 4 times a week. Maybe they can work their schedule to where, they can pick up their kids or be home at the end of the day. It is a very flexible job, but people think domestication is beneath them. Okay. And as I told you in the green room, my mother was a domesticate and she loved her job and the family loved her. They couldn't wait to see her, to see what she was doing. She was a part of the family. Now these jobs are considered, I don't know the proper term to use, but they're taken on by more ethnic groups, Hispanics, Dominicans, Africans. They use this as a form of income versus the good old American woman that, needs a job. Do you find that in your industry that they're less favorable or the people are more persnickety?
Yes. I think what happens is because it's unskilled. You don't need a degree, right? You sometimes, well, in my company, you need a car so you can get there. However, I purchased a van because a lot of our employees don't have license. That's another subject. But yeah, I find that to happen a lot, even though, like I said, I've been around for 15 years. I have some of my cleaners that's been with me for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And that's my second shift. Because they like what they do. You do have some people that love to clean, but it's been a challenge trying to hire some people now because of the mindset of the people nowadays. After COVID, I don't know what happened. No one wants to work anymore. As I mentioned in your green room, that I hired 4 people and gave them an orientation, gave them $16 to $17 an hour, mind you, gave them a uniform, and they didn't even show up to the job. So that's another thing too, the competition. You got to pay money to keep people. You got to make it worth their while now, even though it's the detriment to the company, but that's the only way you're going to get people, because if you don't have people, you don't have money coming in.
Exactly. And
So
trustworthy people, you have to be licensed, you have to be insured, you have to be bonded. Things happen, and you want to give people a break. I don't care if you come from Mars, brains. If you want to work an honest job, I'm not going to sweat you about your country of origin. I'm just going to give it to you 110%. If my spirit feels good and you work and you're honest, that's fine. I'm not going to micromanage you for the government. In your position, it's a little bit different because, you have certain labor laws that you have to conform to. But I think that it is utterly shameful for people to think that these types of jobs or landscapers are beneath them, because it's not. This is just something that we don't do. And as Black people, we was the wet nurse. How would you like that?
absolutely.
We was the sharecropper. We was the cook. We was the bed warmer. Okay. We was all of these things. Okay. So for you to sit there and to judge someone because they will come in and they will clean your toilet when you don't want to clean your toilet, you should give them a tip, in my opinion. Okay, I'm off my soapbox.
Absolutely. I had a couple of people come in and their resume was really good, right? So I brought them in, but I knew their mindset when they came in, that they felt like this wasn't the job for them, but why are you here? But I didn't go at it like that. I just heard their story. Something happened to make them fall back on this type of job, right? And then I'll ask them, so what do you love about cleaning? Because that's the key for me. Oh, I love the cleaning. I'm OCD. I'll do this and I could do that. But you need a job, right? Whether it's cleaning or anything, you take it. But I was saying that because it was 3 people that came in. They had bachelor's degree. One had a bachelor's degree in engineering.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So you have to, and I was telling them like, okay, if I hire you, guess what? I also train people to open up their own business.
Wow.
And they
See?
were like, well, why would you do that? I'm like, because it's a lot of cleaning. It's a lot of businesses out here. There's a lot of cleaning. Everyone needs cleaning. The gas station,
Everybody.
churches, everybody needs cleaning, especially more so than now due to what happened with COVID. But everybody needs a cleaning. So I told her that. She was like, that sounds interesting. And I also came to her in a different way. I interviewed her because I just wanted to see where her head was. Because then I found out, oh no, you need a job.
Right.
So
Because
stop that.
you need to pay the bills.
You
You
need
know?
to pay the bills. And then, mind you, she went to other interviews. This one person went to other interviews and they were only paying like $13, $14 an hour. So she asked me how much I was paying. I said $16 or $17 an hour. Oh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's a level of respect because you value these people.
I
Okay.
do.
That's good. So when we talk about value, you also value yourself. You are a conqueror of domestic violence. I've never been, well, I should say this. I had a boyfriend that hit me one time. Baby, he didn't hit nobody else. I went asshole crazy on him. Yes, I did. I almost scratched his eyes out. Yes, I did. I said, do you know who you hit? Are you crazy? Okay. But I had another boyfriend that was very aggressive and he drank a lot and I could hear it roar up in his spirit. And he never spoke well of his mother. He never spoke well of his sisters. He called women, by the B word and this, that. So there was some triggers there. And I'm like, and he liked to argue. Girl, it wasn't a debate. It was a straight out argument. Anything. The sky is blue. Well, what makes you think the sky is blue? And I could feel it. And I was like, this is not me. This is not me. But to be in a domestic violence situation with children, to be in a home, to figure that there's no way out, you want to keep it a secret. You got to cover up the bruises if there's bruises. And there's different types of domestic violence. There's mental, there's alienation, there's psychological, there's physical. So what a strange dynamic. They want to love and honor their father. They want to have that machismo, that macho-ness, this is, how you run a household. Your children hear everything that's going on. They learn that disrespect. And then you as a mother, you want to honor their father and their relationship because it's hard for a woman to raise a man. But in that same mindset, you want them to respect and honor and love women and nurture their mother. I've seen young men disrespect their mother just like their father did because they thought it was the right thing to do. You have to get them away from that environment. And don't think that the kids don't know. Baby, if the dog lives in the house, the dog know what's going on. My girlfriend, another woman that experienced domestic violence told me this, and it didn't ring a bell. She said that normally or often that a domestic violence person will attack the animal. If there's a pet in the house, they will abuse the animal. And I was like, what? She said, oh yeah, badly. 3-4 weeks later, my girlfriend calls me. Her husband done socked the chihuahua in the eye.
Hit the dog.
The dog got a black eye. 2 weeks later, she got that same black eye. And we were sitting in the car and I looked at her and I was like, her foundation is awful thick. Then I looked down, she had on a skirt, she had these bruises on her legs. And I tell you, okay, now you got to come clean. What's going on? And she told me. And she told me how her husband would just take the dog and just throw a chihuahua and would abuse it. And then it clicked as to what this other woman told me. So that there's patterns. Okay. But there's help. There is help. But what you have to do is you have to find that self-love.
Absolutely.
Okay. You've got to go deep inside yourself to say, hey, you know what? I'm worth more than this. I'm not what this outside influence is trying to dictate me to be. I've got these kids to raise. I've got a life to live. You are absolutely stunning. And I don't know what in the world he could have wanted, thought. I don't know if it was drugs, it was alcohol, but whatever, he's crazy. And you still got to deal with them because you have children to a degree, but you have to find that within yourself. What do you tell a woman as an ambassador of justice for women? What do you tell a woman that's in this situation?
I think I would tell them, you need to write it down and you need to analyze everything. You need to know his triggers and you need to get out. because he's going to do it again and again and again. And guess what? Sometimes it's not you. There's something else going on that caused him to be that way. And you can't change that. He has to change that. So a lot of times we think that we can fix it and change it, but we can't. So what you have to do is plan your escape. Plan your escape. Sometimes it's very hard. Sometimes people can't get away. See, my sons were younger. Like I had a baby and he was one. My other son was one. So they were little and still, like you said, they still know. And just plan your escape. And going back to the children, like you said, they know. Then you have to tell your children what's going on and what's going on with you and the father. Did he hit you? Because my kids used to ask me that all the time. And I said no, because I didn't want them to worry about that. But then I came to a conclusion because I talked to a therapist and she's like, no, you got to tell them.
Mm-hmm.
You got to tell the kids what's going on.
Right.
You know
Because
what I mean?
they're little human beings. They're going to grow up to be adults.
Yeah.
But you got to have a strategy. And let's talk to men too, because men are abused now. And there's a lot of, you look at homosexual relationships. I done seen some men that kick another man's butt. Baby. And don't let it be a real butch lesbian. Woo!
I've seen it too. Like real men fighting, like
real. You're right. And then the other one is kind of meek and kind of submissive. It can just be very complicated. So we're not just talking about women, we're talking about people. Okay. But again, know where all the bodies are buried. When the person is at work, baby, find out where the money is. Okay. Look at the credit card statement. And find you a friend that you can trust. There's ones that are gossipy, that are jealous. There's other ones that really care about who you are. But the most hurtful thing is when you have a family member or family members that don't support you and don't help you.
And a lot of times you can't, you have to pick and choose. I know that's hard to say, but you have to pick and choose. I had a friend, she worked for McDonald's Corporation. Man, she was my rock. Because she's the one I would tell her. She would take me in the bathroom and put makeup on. She even confronted him. And she was the one who told me, okay, it's time to leave.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's that self-righteousness. And we don't want to be vindictive, but I'm telling you, I took mine to task. Oh yeah, we was going toe to toe. I was told you won't hit another woman like that, baby. His face, it looked like a jigsaw puzzle when I got finished scratching it up. But everybody doesn't have that. No. And first they start working on your mind. Oh, you're not worthy. You're nothing without me. You ain't this. Your family don't want you. Your friends don't want you. So what? You making a little bit of money, but I'm the man and I'm running this. Okay, so then they start lowering your self-esteem. Then they really start getting up in your face. All that. And it's a shame associated with it because you got to try to regain your identity. How did you regain your identity?
Real quick though, that's not always the case. My husband was jealous of who I was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was jealous. So sometimes you have that situation. That happens with a lot of stars when the boyfriends are jealous of who they are.
Yeah, girl. Yeah, and I look at some, me and my husband was talking about something. We ain't gonna talk about them because I work with a lot of them in Hollywood. They can't keep a man. They can't keep a man, and they are beautiful. And they buying these multi-million-dollar homes. It may be a house, but it ain't a home, baby.
And so you have you have several different forms of domestic violence. But what was your question again? How I kept my strength?
Yeah, how did you regain your identity?
After a while, I moved to Michigan, and I've always said that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. God was definitely with me because a lot of times I already knew he was with me, but I just had to go through those trials to get to where I am. So that had to happen because it did. But it helped me to think more about myself, to figure out who I am, to figure out being unapologetically me. I still have some issues trying to find myself. Just a couple of months ago, something was going on with my spirit and I couldn't figure out why. But like you, I have a discernment to feel things now that I know what I have. Before I didn't have that. Now that I know, it's helped me to figure out where I'm going. Like I've always worked for major corporations. I've always, I'm successful in my business. As a matter of fact, in my cleaning business, I made $1 million starting from
Wow.
scratch,
Wow. Go on
right?
with yourself.
So I'm just saying that, and I wanted to give you my story first to show you where I came from to get there, and how my journey has led me to there, and how I've been working on personal development, and that's what I love about Ladies of Justice. Justice, it's a network marketing company too, but the personal development, I tell anybody if you're going to do anything, go to network marketing for personal development, because that has helped me tremendously, and even now to the point where I surround myself, I call the women's circle of champions. For example, like you, something drew me to you, to lead,
Exactly. Exactly.
because I would have like, oh, I am not doing that. I'm not getting on nobody's vibe. Yes, none of that. But that
But I
was
was
that.
telling people that, network marketing gets a bad rap. And I don't promote the products per se, but I think about some of the most successful ones in the world. Mary Kay was a network marketing. And look what she did for women.
Women.
Girl,
Absolutely.
giving them pink Cadillacs and diamonds and
Yes, she was for women.
and
Even, go ahead. No,
no,
go ahead.
you look at Avon and you look at Princess House Crystal and you look at Amway. These are very successful, but what they do is they get you pumped up. You go to that 1-800 ballroom, baby, and you feel like you can fly. When you got there, you are hyped up.
But isn't that what you're supposed to feel?
That's
Isn't
right.
that what you're supposed to feel? In network marketing, in my company, they give you an opportunity to make $1 million. I'm not um, branding myself with that though, but these companies give you an opportunity to make whatever you want. Is your choice.
Right.
It's your fear that's stopping you from doing what you need to do. That's all network marketing is. And a lot of people fail is because they don't believe in themselves also.
Right. Or
Like there's
they don't want to do the work.
don't want to do
They
work.
don't know how to ask for the business. They don't close on the deal, you
Oh,
know.
and then you go to your company and you'll do whatever they say, tell you to do. Just like my testimony is the reason why I left corporate is because it's not it's time freedom. I have to ask my boss, can I go on a vacation? I have to ask them, can I take my sons to the doctor? I even have to tell them when I had to go to the bathroom. What kind of living is that?
Right.
Anyway, yep.
Right. But no, I mean, and you have to conform to the program. I get that, okay? Because without rules, there's chaos. So you have to have a level of discipline, but you have to have a level of self-worth. I have been reading the most amazing books, Think and Grow Rich, Atomic Habits, the Four Agreements. I've just really been doing the audiobook series, and I am creating great new habits for myself and combining them. I'll do my editing and I have a little peddler up under my desk. And so I get my exercise in. I combine that. But I promised myself something. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, April, I said, you look pretty good at 60, but are you going to look this good at 62, 65, at 70? So instead of thinking of exercise as an arduous task, I think of it as a reward and a blessing that I'm able to get up and go do it. I acknowledge myself. I've got 7 tasks that I need to complete every day. And I give myself one of these little old gold stars. Girl, I feel like I'm back in kindergarten. Now, look at all my stars that's missing. I'd be just as happy. I do. But it's about the mindset of loving yourself. And that's not arrogance. You have to love yourself before anybody else can add to that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. Let me tell you, I have a friend, one of my circle of champions. And it's okay if I can say her name because she was, I want you to meet her too. Her name is Crystal Gunn. She said, so how's business? I said, business okay. And I told her about, what I was making. She said, bravo, bravo. And I'm like, what? She said, Deborah, you have to start celebrating yourself. And I don't, because I'm an internal person. Like I like to do. You can't put me in the forefront. It may not seem like it now, but this is that personal development.
Right.
Even my company, they didn't even know that I am a female owner. Matter of fact, they didn't even know I was African American, and some of them still don't.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I don't need that notoriety, but she was saying, girl, celebrate who you are. If they know, I'm like, no, I don't have to do that because when I go talk my talk and they see me, a lot of my customers, see me and I was like, because you don't know, as long as I go in there and tell you what needs to be done, because I don't want you to judge me before I even get into the door.
Well, and I say this as a Black woman, I love my sisters. I love my culture. I love who I am. But that does not identify the work that I do or
Right.
my abilities or my inabilities. I don't even want Mahoney. April Mahoney, baby, has opened some doors like you would not believe. They think it's gonna be this little redhead, freckled white girl coming in there. And here I come with no telling what kind of hair option, a gap between my teeth, and brown skin. And they're like, yeah, well, what were you expecting? So don't judge a book by its cover. Open it up and look at the pages. That's what's the important thing. So tell us about your other business endeavors. We've talked about, the being the ambassador for Ladies Justice, and we've also talked about your multi-level marketing, and we've talked about the cleaning business. But you got a couple other things brewing.
Right now, I just got awarded a 501(c) for Exclusive Elderly Resource Center. And what that is, that's a program to help seniors get whatever they need. I will be looking for vendors and different people like that. Matter of fact, I have Susan Coleman, a cancer association, a person that I know very well. She wants to help with the cancer patient. I have banks asking me to come into the banks and sit down, because sit down with the seniors, because a lot of times the seniors will go into the mortgage companies and the banks and try to get loans, trying to get mortgage or whatever, reverse mortgage, whatever they need. They don't know how to fill out that paperwork. They don't know how to go on the computer. So I created a program, it's called Kava, where we will in-house all their documents. Of course, it'll be secured. In-house all their documents, say if they need something to go to the bank, go to Social Security, go to welfare, go to Medicaid, we will be able to send that out to them. Because even in a cleaning company, some of my seniors, the girls would go in, the ladies would go in and clean their home, and they have packed stacks of paper like this.
Mm-hmm.
All around, and don't know what to do with it, don't know, they're just left alone. And they have siblings, but sometimes the siblings, I don't blame the siblings all the time. We have some that won't do the right thing, but
won't even go see them.
Yeah, go see them. But they have their lives too. But if they could take a moment and just do something, that would work. Well, that's where we come in. I'm going to hire some document specialists, people that can literally talk to the seniors, and also people with money that can pay for someone to take care of their family member without just leaving them out there. So
that is going to be so amazing. And like I was telling you also in the green room, my heart has been calling me to be an activity director at a senior center. Girl, I want to go in there and teach them, arts and crafts and music, because they are there isolated. And if their family doesn't come in, then they're going to be looking for Miss April, because I'm going to come in and I'm going to bring people with me that care about them. I had an interview with a guest yesterday, and I cannot wait to air it. She's going to be one of my favorites. She's 80 years old and she is on fire. We talk about everything from soup to nuts and sex, and we laughed something fierce. But again, like she said, she's looking for love again at 80 years old. It's not over until it's over. So bravo for doing that and taking the gauntlet and running with that, because I love senior citizens, teachers, and nurses. Those are my favorite people on the planet.
And God dropped that on my heart. One of my friends, she's a reader. She said, God dropped that on you. You're going to be okay. Just like God just dropped that on you to be an advocate.
Yes.
We got to follow through on it, because that was just a drop, if you will.
It was. And you know that you are going, that's your legacy. So let me ask you in closing a few fun questions about you. Okay.
Okay.
Deborah Crowley, if you were an appliance in the kitchen, what appliance would you be?
A pressure cooker to turn off.
Oh, with yourself. I'd be the refrigerator, because I just want to sit and chill. If you were an animal, what animal would you be and why?
A lion.
Why?
To be fierce and don't worry about what people are thinking about me. Just keep moving, do what I need to do, fulfill my purpose.
All right.
I'd
be the party animal.
The party
animal. What are 3 of your guilty pleasures? I mean, just when you just in your element and you want to be good to yourself, what are 3 things that you do?
Wow. My guilty pleasure is calling my sons or calling my grandsons' mothers and asking them, could I hear their voice just to get me through the day?
Oh,
And they're busy. You know what I mean? I don't care if throughout the day, you're like, Mom, I'm working. Mama, they'll call you later. So that's my guilty pleasure. Also, shopping. I
mm,
love shopping. And it's not that I go shopping just because I can now. You know what I mean? Back then, I would have to try to figure out whether I had enough money. I'm not saying that I'm rich, but I could get what I want because
right.
I know how to put that money back into my bank account.
That's right.
Studying my discernment, that's a guilty pleasure for me because I'm always trying to figure out how to master this discernment, how to control it, how to let it
Yeah.
to the top. You know what I mean?
Right. Ask the right questions. How can it get better? How can it
Yeah,
get any better than this? And what else is possible? And bring me the right people. And, I know that I'm worthy. Just direct me in the right place. Having that I am conversation. I got you. I got you
yeah.
100%. And I've been married to Mr. Magnificent for 39 years. And baby, I love the breeze that keeps him cool. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm sprung. I told a woman try to push up on her, I'm gonna cut her. But along those same lines, I tell him to this day that I leave a little bit in reserve for me because folks change their mind. It's 39 today. Hopefully it'll be 40 tomorrow, but somewhere in between 39 and a half, the feelings and emotions might change. But I love him enough that whatever he needs to fulfill him and to make him happy, I'm willing to do. Now, that don't mean I'm not going to hold on to the bumper of the car and begging him not to leave if he decided to leave. But I love him enough to let him go. And so that's what we as individuals have to know, you know. And
That's it for me.
Sting would say, free, set them free. You got to love somebody enough to let them go to be who it is that you deserve to be.
And that's what's happening with me right now. I've come to that conclusion, just what you said. And that's funny you're saying that because I said to myself, if I love him, I need to let him go because I know that he's not the man for me.
Right.
And when you feel that, you got to take action because you'll stay with him forever and ever and ever again. And you're blocking my way for my real husband. So
Right. Right. You are blocking my, or or that $1-800 freak. The line is busy. Because that's another thing. People think that you have to be married. Sometimes you can just have a great monogamous, polyamorous relationship. You can do it. That's what people are doing now. But you have to love yourself. You got to be respectful. You have to be clean. There's a lot of things that come into all of this that create this thing that we call love. And love is one of the hardest things. We think it's so easy, but it is one of the hardest things. And it is, formed. And so it's like Play-Doh. You can mold it any way that suits you. Everybody's love responsibility and love language it's not the same.
it's a lot of work. I think it's a lot of work and you have to be ready for it. And you can't do it by yourself
No.
because you need an outsider, a mediator to say, okay, this is what you guys need to do a little bit. This is what you
need to do. Counselors,
yep,
pastors, grandparents, all that is very, very important in your life. So in closing, Deborah, what words of wisdom would you like to leave us or leave us with encouragement? Also a call to action, how to get in contact with you and work with you.
I think that the most important thing that I want women to know, to have faith in what you do. Don't be afraid to take that leap. Tell your story because your story is not yours anymore once it's happened. Your story is for you to tell others so you can help others to conquer through their story. So tell your story and don't be afraid. Of course, we're going to have some secrets and those secrets may go down in the grave with you, but it's okay. But tell your story that needs to be told. You'll know once you start telling your story, you'll know what to say and what not to say. Be encouraged. Create a circle of champions, a circle of women that are doing things that are your accountability partners that are gonna push you. And that's gonna help you to get to your next level. And have a discernment of trust, I guess. Because that's the hardest thing, trusting people.
Mhm.
Trusting people. You feel in your gut that you can't trust that person around you, let them go. Let
Mhm.
'em
Absolutely, absolutely. Let them go, and
go.
don't worry about it. You ain't got to have no feelings behind it. I let folks go. I do a friends cleanse. You should see me go through my Facebook
No,
book.
you don't.
Yes, yes, I do. Now you got people sitting there like lunch meat.
Not-
They sitting there on your timeline looking at your business, what you doing, how you feeling. They ain't liking, they ain't loving, they ain't sharing, they ain't commenting. For what? They're
Right.
strangers. They're not engaging with you. So off you go. And that's not that you're not you're still a wonderful person, but that doesn't mean I'm going to allow you a front row seat in my auditorium.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you have to do that. So tell us how to get in contact with you, work with you, or get one of your people to come clean our house. Girl, I sure wish you was here in San Diego. I do.
You would love my cleaners. I have 23 employees. You would
Oh
love
my
them. They
God.
deep clean. They deep clean, like, cause they deep clean, like deep clean. Get on their knees, utilize toothbrushes, and that's their choice to get on their knees. So our cleaners are really good. All right. You can get in touch with me for Ladies of Justice. And if I don't know if I can give you a little blur about that, the membership.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
With Ladies of Justice, you can get your will done, your power of attorney, you get a traffic ticket, you can take a picture of the traffic ticket, send it to the attorney will go to court for you, right? No matter how many tickets, and what they'll do, they'll negotiate the points on the ticket. But your will and your power of attorney is important. That's a hard subject to have with your family. But when you go to the hospital, what's the first thing they ask you? You
Yeah,
have a power of attorney,
that's
right?
right.
All
And
right.
with that, there's two now. I just want to throw that in. It's not just a physical, but now they have a mental.
Really?
As a power of attorney directive. Because if someone is mentally incapacitated and not physically, they may not be in a coma, but in their mind, they're suffering with dementia. So check that out. I'm sorry. Continue.
Also, get documents reviewed. Uncontested divorce. You have to wait 90 days. This is a subscription for $29.95 a month. That's it. For
Mhm.
all that. You can utilize this membership anywhere in the United States, including Canada. Say, for example, I drive to California. I get a ticket. I can call Ladies of Justice Legal Shield and ask them to give me an attorney to take care of my ticket out in California. Amazing. We're changing the paradigm shift in legal services because everybody can't afford it. And everybody won't believe that it's only $29.95, but it is.
Oh, I know. We had the prepaid legal service here in San Diego, and they are amazing. You have that disgruntled employee that you can't, I mean, not employee, tenant that you can't get out your apartment. They can direct you on the proper way of getting them evicted. There's a lot of services for $29. You can't beat that. That's cheaper than cable.
It's absolutely, you spend that on lunch. You
Yep.
spend $100 on lunch. You spend $100 on gym shoes.
Yep.
Also, it's for businesses too. I utilize it for my business all the time. They did my handbook. A customer didn't pay me. They send letters to the customer. They review my documents every time I get a agreement or I have to sign like for the proposal from them or agreement. I send it to my attorney before I sign it. Like
Also, how to contact you as far as the cleaning service and the nonprofit.
My website is dcrowley39.ladiesofjustice.com. That's for the membership for the legal services. My cleaning company, you can call us at 248. We're located here in Michigan, 888-7806. An exclusive elderly center, I'm going to make that nationwide too. So you can still call me on 248-888-7806. Even if you're looking to help seniors too, my doors are open. We all need to come together to help these seniors live a healthful, purposeful life.
Well, I am so glad that you have found your purpose, Queen, and that you are in your glory. You are absolutely glowing. And again, brains, it's nothing to it but to do it. You got to feel the fear, yet do it anyway. Step out. You don't know what you're missing until you try. And if it doesn't work, try again. But do not stay in that victim mentality. Do not let anybody abuse you, disrespect you. You better not holler and cuss at me. See, I didn't really got spoiled, okay? But it's important to love yourself. And thank you so much for loving us today, Deborah. You are the absolute best. Come on back. Keep us informed as to what's going on. My brains are always open to great opportunities. And thank you so much for tuning in, Brains. I need you to go love, like, share, and subscribe. Love, like, share, and subscribe. LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, yada, yada. I can sing them to you, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to say I love you. Thank you so much, Deborah. Come back and see me again, baby.
Love you.
All right. Bye, Brains.
Bye.